Hello, Commanders. Welcome back. This is Commander Hoopchi here with another episode of our basic flight school tutorials. We've talked about how to navigate the menus inside the base, and now we're going to talk about getting out of the base and moving on and using those same buttons outside. Okay, so we're back. I guess my dormant bounty over in that system, when I got scanned, they realized and decided they were going to hunt me down. Good for them. I just jumped out, came over here to this resource extraction site where I can kind of talk about these things a little bit. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm go ahead and boost down to the resource extraction site, see if we can find somebody. And on the way down there, I'll kind of talk about, again, the contextual menus. We've already talked about what happens when you hold X, and that brings up both the comms panel, the target panel, the systems panel over here, and then this is the sensor panel. Okay, so we know that that's what happens when we hold X. What happens when we hold A? Well, if I hold A, you'll see now that this is how I access multiple things. One is enable the frame shift drive to Super Cruise. Now, Super Cruise is how we travel around inside of a solar system. Okay, and that's the distinction you need to remember. If you need to go to another planet or another moon or another asteroid belt within the same system, you're going to enable your frame shift drive to Super Cruise. If you're trying to travel to a different star system, another solar system that's multiple light years away, then you will enable your frame shift drive. For me, that's pressing down on the D-pad. Obviously, you can't be mass locked to do that. Mass locked means that you're too close to a heavenly body in order to be able. Well, now there's a heavenly body. Fortunately, you'll see now over in the lower right-hand side, I've just become mass locked. That means I'm so close to all of these asteroids and this large planet that I am unable at this point to engage my frame shift drive. And it will tell me that if I hold A and try to engage my frame shift drive to Super Cruise, which I will do now, frame shift canceled, mass locked. If I try to go to hyperspace, same thing. So what I have to do is get myself out of mass lock, and the best way to do that is find an empty portion of the sky and boost myself out of that. I'm going to go ahead and drop some pips into engine, and we'll talk about power management. And I'm just going to boost until I get up out of here and get myself out of that mass lock, and then we'll see that I would be able now to enable both of those, but I'm not going to do that. I can also open my galaxy map here.
Silent running.
I just turned on silent running.
Offline.
We're going to fix that real quick. We're also going to chop power so we can come back in here and holding A. So silent running is if you want to disappear from sensor screens, basically. I'll have a tutorial about how to do silent running, as well as a tutorial on toggle flight assist. You'll see those are listed on the left bumper and right bumper. So I'll go into greater detail at those in another day. Open the galaxy map and open system map. I'm also going to have a tutorial video on using both of those maps at a later time, but just suffice to say you can hold A and get to those very quickly by pressing on the D-pad that direction. You'll see it's going to take me directly into the galaxy map where I can see what's around me, and then I could do various things like find a system, look at realistic maps, look at different options, change filters, all kinds of things. Alright, but now we're back out. I see some ships down here. I'm going to go ahead and run down here and see what can happen. Now, that boost I just did is done by pressing B, and if I tap B, that's what's going to happen. Okay, my ship is going to go into boost mode. Provided I have enough energy in my power plant to boost, then I will boost. And you can see over in the lower right-hand corner, I have three systems. I have my systems, I have my energy, and I have my WP, my weapons. And I can balance those power using the D-pad. If I want to reset it to the starting point, I press down on the D-pad. If I want to adjust those, I can press right on the D-pad to dump all of my power into weapons. I can press up on the D-pad to dump all of my power into engines, and I can press left on the D-pad to dump all of my power into systems. Systems could help me recharge these shields faster that I just accidentally took out, and there they are, they're recharged. Engines, if I dump power into that, that's going to create a situation where I can boost more and go faster. My throttle will be adjusted, you know, if I take pips out of engine, my maximum speed is reduced. If I put pips in engine, it's increased. And then weapons, my weapons will cycle and fire faster and reload better and all those good things if I dump more power into weapons. Now, when we hold B, we're going to find we have a number of other options. One of those is cargo scoop. So I don't have a cargo scoop equipped to this, but if we find some cargo out there that we'd like to pick up, guess what? We can pick it up provided we have a cargo hold, and the ability to open that scoop is right there by holding B and pressing up on the D-pad. Doesn't do me any good because I don't have one. Alright. If I hold B, I can also turn on my ship lights and turn off my ship lights. I'll usually leave them off. The only time I would turn them on is if I'm in a dark ring section and I want to make sure I don't want to run into one of these asteroids. I might turn on ship lights to help me see them, but most of the time I leave that off. Also, I can, hold B and put the landing gear down. Once your landing gear or cargo scoop is left open, and you can tell whether they are by looking over in the lower right hand corner of your screen. You see right under the blue that says mass locked. You can also see landing gear, cargo scoop. It's right in the center of the screen right there. Mass locked, landing gear, cargo scoop. Now, one thing to remember is if I have my landing gear deployed, that light is on, I will be unable, no matter what, to go into frame shift. And also, if I have my cargo scoop open, which I don't have a cargo hold, so I can't open mine, but if I were to have my cargo scoop open, there'd be no way for me to activate my frame shift drive. And I've actually had people, trying to get away from guys who were chasing them and trying to boost out of here, and then they get to the point where they're not mass locked anymore and they want to get out of here, and bam, they can't activate their frame shift drive because they have their cargo scoop open. Okay, and now the next video we're gonna talk about targeting different ships as well as targeting different subsystems. Hopefully that's a good introduction to some of the buttons, and we'll talk about some more in the next short video that we do, going on to the next. So good luck, and I hope you'll watch the next video, and we'll see you soon. And remember, fly safe, Commanders. Okay, that's that video. We've talked a little bit about the face buttons and how to use them. We're now going to talk about targeting. Okay, and I've got a ship down here who's running around. He's white right now, so he's really kind of at the very edge of my sensor range. But when it turns orange like that, if I tap Y, I can target that ship. Okay, and you can tell he's targeted not only by looking at him, because he has the 3 diamonds floating around his ship telling me 3.3 kilometers and Golden Cube is his name. I can also see that over here in the left hand side I have that exact same information, as well as additional information which could come in handy. I know his name is Golden Cube. I know he's an elite pilot. I do know he's clean. In other words, he doesn't have any bounties there. He's not wanted in any systems that I'm aware of. He's allied with the Social Pick'em Progressive Party, and that's, I can also find out what kind of ship he's flying. In this case, he's in a federal gunship. Alright, let's go back and look at this gentleman one more time, and I'm using my radar to determine where he's at on my map. If you look at the radar, you can see he is the target with the brackets around it. So if I follow him around, he's going to be right in the front of that radar on the same plane as I'm on. He's got the brackets around him. Okay, let's get out of this. Let's get out of this. Slow back down. Find him again. So I'm looking for the guy with the brackets. I want to show you what else we can do. So if I were to get in a fight with this guy, which I'm not going to do because I'll get a bounty. He's clean, and I don't want a bounty right now. I've got bounties in other systems. But if I were to get in a fight with this guy, if I wanted to, I could hold X, go to the target panel, come over here to contacts, and I can see even more information about him based on if I've done a ship scan or not. But additionally, I can also go to the sub-target menu, and now I can select what target I would like to go after on his ship. A lot of times, oh gosh, that asteroid got really close. A lot of times it's pretty effective to target a power plant on another ship, especially a large ship. And now you can see right there to the right that I have the power plant targeted. You know, if I click in my right stick, you'll see I have the power plant targeted, and it gives me a percentage telling me how much is left in the power plant if I were to shoot that power plant on the Federal gunship. Okay, so that's how you target a different subsystem. Now, not a lot of people, at least, and I didn't know initially, that there's another way to do this. Okay, so here's Golden Cube. I can also hold Y and then press up on the D-pad and cycle among the various points that I could target. So I could target his beam lasers, his mine launcher, his cannon, his chaff, his shield booster. You know, if I just want to, you know, disable him, I'll do his power plant, but for whatever reason he may be trying to run, maybe I could do the FSD, his frame shift drive, and now he can't get away from me. Life support, well, you know, that's going to kill him. Power distributor may not kill him, but it'll make him disabled. You know, he may jettison cargo. Shield generator means he wouldn't be able to put his shields back up if I'm having trouble with a really good shield generator or something like that. And that's just by holding Y, that I can target every subsystem on his ship. To me, that's a little bit quicker than going into here, finding what I want like this with the up and down on the D-pad, and then selecting it with A, and then pressing B to go back out, and by that time he could be no telling where. So I usually use the Y, holding the Y, in order to target that next subsystem like that. So that's good to remember. Now, let's go find somebody else. You know, this guy's kind of boring. He's clean cut Golden Cube guy, you know, I don't really need to see him. So how can I find some other people? Well, again, we can hold X, we can go to the target panel, and we can go to contacts. And now here's listed everybody that's in sensor range, as well as the mining fragments that are in sensor range in this area as well. So I've got an ASP Explorer here. If I highlight that ASP Explorer and press A, and then go back out, I can find him by looking down in my radar. And remember how we look at that. You know, he's the one with brackets, so I can spin my ship around here, and voila, there he is. Detected. Andreas Oswald. And wow, somebody's already shooting at him. That's good to know. It probably means he's wanted, and this will be good to watch. So he's already in a fight, and now you can see over in the lower left-hand center panel that he is wanted. He's a master pilot. If I go to this menu right here and look, I can also see the bounty number. He's a 32,000 credit bounty. Well, guess what? I've got a kill point scanner, and I'm going to do some scanning, and let's see what he's really worth if I can get it done before he dies. As long as I keep him in my sights, I can use the kill warrant scanner to determine if he has any other boundaries on him in any other system. Alright, I completed it. Let's look and see. And yes, guess what? He's worth 54,000. That's 22,000 more than we thought if we hadn't done a kill warrant scan. Now I've already got him targeted. Remember, I can hold Y and press up and down to select any portion of his ship I would like to target at this point. So let's just say I want to target his power plant. I can do that. I can press A to change my fire groups, and I'm going to change to my fire group that's a pulse laser, and we are going to have some fun. We're going to shoot this guy and try to blow him up. And if this takes too long, I will cut this down so you don't have to watch it. It's probably not going to be that hard, though. I think he's almost about cooked right now. Notice his power plant is going down, though. He's down to 47% already on the power plant. If you have one of those larger ships like an Anaconda or something like that, sometimes it can be beneficial. I got his shields back up. It can sometimes be beneficial to go ahead and target that power plant and get it taken out to disable him, and then you can just kind of pick him off at your leisure. So that's how, you know, now if I want to target another one, I can go over here and I can do it this way and target the Cobra Mark III. Okay, got interrupted by the daughter there. It happens. YouTubing is hard. There's a Cobra Mark V. His name is Morvale, and he's wanted. Now, I'm going to show you something else that you can do here in addition to targeting subsystems. There's multiple ships over here. I could go over here and select all of those targets by going up and down like this, but guess what? There's also a shortcut to targeting these ships as well. An easier way to do it is to hold Y again and now cycle next target by pressing left on the D-pad. If I do that, you see now that I have now targeted this guy, the Federal Security Service. If I hold Y again, now I've targeted a Sidewinder, which is over here flying around, and there's John Westwood. I can find him. I hold Y, I can cycle through every target that's in range of my sensors. Some of them I don't know much about because, for instance, this guy I haven't scanned yet. But this guy right here, more of a L, I have scanned with my basic sensors. Now I'll come around. I'll press A to switch my fire group, which is what A does when you have your hard points out, and I'll go ahead and try to get a scan on this guy. And I'm scanning him, I'm scanning him, I'm scanning him. He may die before I get the scan done. That's okay, I'm just showing you. Okay, if I scan, now I can switch to A, pop him a couple shots, blow him up, and make some money. That's how bounty hunting works. I'll go into greater detail about it. Anyway, if I wanted to change targets at this point, which I probably shouldn't do because Morbiel might come back and try to kill me. That would be good. But if I wanted to change targets at this point, I could do a couple of things. I could go back to that screen that we talked about a while ago, or I can hold Y and cycle targets again. I can also hold Y and press down to select the highest threat. So if there's another hostile in range, another member of his wing that's after me, if I hold down and select highest threat, it will select him. Or I can cycle the next hostile target by pressing right on the D-pad, and I have no hostile targets in range right now. Okay, so that's how we use the contextual menus. I will hold B one more time and show you one other thing, and that's the classified camera toggle. You don't want to accidentally activate this, but it's kind of cool to activate it once you have a quiet moment, and you can come outside your ship and actually take a look around and maybe get a nice outside view of your ship with a nice planet in the background, and wow, that looks pretty good. You could even go Xbox, take a screenshot if you have a Kinect like I do, and you've got a nice beautiful screenshot to go along with that. To get out of this, you hold B and toggle classified camera again, and you're back. You don't want to accidentally activate that thing while you're flying, because that can be detrimental to your health and safety of your Vulture. But if you want to take some nice cool screenshots, that's the way we do it. Alright, so we've talked about everything associated with X. We've talked about everything associated with Y. We've talked about what's associated with B. And we've talked about what's associated with A, with this exception of silent running and flagged assist, which we will talk about at a later time. So, hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you learned a little bit. Either way, thanks for watching, and remember, Commanders, fly